Bueno, hola a todos y bienvenidos a una nueva entrevista para Full Esports. Hoy estamos con Frescowi, el midlaner de G2 Arctic. Hello Frescowi, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing fine.
Okay, well, to start, I would like to talk about your place in Superliga. In
hmm
this very moment, you are at the head of the table alongside Movistar Riders, and I want
Yep.
to know what are your thoughts on your team performance in this summer split.
Okay. So, yeah, we are first, as you said, but we are not doing as good as we thought, especially in scrims. We are first, but for us it doesn't really matter because the most important time for us would be playoffs and the EU Masters time, of course. So, we are not happy with our performance right now. We are not going, we are not going doing good in the scrims and in officials. Like our last game versus Team Castle was pretty bad, I would say. And we still have the same problem that we had last split, which is consistency. Like we can have really good games, but we can have also really bad games, and that's our most like our biggest issue, I would say, right now. So I'm not really insanely happy with our performance. There are games that we played pretty good, for example, against eMonkeys that we can be happy about, but still it's not enough for us. So we are trying to focus on being more consistent now, and I would say that's the goal for us right now.
Okay, thanks. I could agree with you. The level is what is happening right now in the competition, and I want to
hmm
talk about your performance personally in this
hmm
summer split because we have seen you exchange of that control mage role, and you have
hmm
played marksmen and even a Kalista in mid lane. So I want to know about your thoughts in the actual metagame and if you're most comfortable with this brand new champion pool.
Yeah, for sure this meta is more fun and more entertaining for me. It suits me better, I would say. The biggest strength of this meta, I would say, is that you can play multiple champions. It's so fun and open, I would say. Like every game you can play different champ basically. And it a bit shifted to the part that you can play more melee champs in mid. Like you're not playing anymore the Orianas, Syndras, Azirs. Like there is mostly meta oriented around the strong early game champions like Renekton, Set, and that kind of stuff. Now it's a bit still the same, I would say. You can play more AP champs, but it's still not the control champs, I would say. Like, for example, LeBlanc is super strong in the meta right now, but you can still play things like Sylas and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I really like the meta. You can play basically everything that suits the comp. And about my performance, it's not the best for sure. Like, I still need to work harder to get to my peak performance, like this split. But I still have time because, like, as I said, before we wanna perform the best we can in playoffs and EU Masters. So I'm doing everything I can right now to achieve my peak level right now. So yeah, mostly it's still like the our team playstyle. I'm not that consistent. I had fine games, I had bad games, but still could be better for sure.
Even though you are not on your peak level, as you said,
hmm
in this very moment, you are the second player of G2 Arctic with the most MVPs on your back, just following Coldo. I want
hmm
to know how it is to work hand on hand with one of of the best junglers of the competition, and if do you think you are the best mid jungler duo in Superliga?
I think so. I think we are, but for sure we are not the best mid jungle duo outside of Superliga, I would say. And for sure, working with Cold is really fun. He's a really hardworking guy. So, for sure, it's much easier to play with in one team with a guy that is hardworking and wants to achieve the same goals as me, which is obviously winning everything. So, yeah, it feels good, obviously. And either though I'm the second guy from GTI that has the most MVPs, obviously it feels good. But as I said before, I can do much better. So for me, it's not really satisfying because I feel like the level in Superliga is not that high. For example, if you would play right now on like in EU Masters or in playoffs, we would probably do pretty bad. So it doesn't really matter. Like the split is about best of ones. So obviously there's a lot of games to play. It's dependent kind of on the mood, on the scrim weeks, blah blah blah. So it doesn't really matter. The most important part is playoffs and EU Masters. So yeah.
Talking about the EU Masters, as you said, the
Mhm.
last your last appearance was with G2 Arctic, but
Yep.
your performance was a little bit bad. I don't want to say it like that, but it isn't the best you can play. So I
Yep.
want to know how you face with that result, that previous result, this new split of European Masters. If you reach to it.
I mean, for sure, we're disappointed after the first EU Masters. Like, for sure, we expected to at least get out of the groups because we just played really, really bad the first week of the EU Masters. And now, obviously, the expectations are the same as last split. We want to win it all. Obviously, now we are really far from it, but we are working as hard as we can to achieve that goal in the end. So for sure, it's not super hard to do better than last split because I think getting out of groups in new masters it's not that hard if you work well, and we have the players to do so. I think everyone here is individually super good. We just need to work well as a team, and that's what we are missing kind of right now because we are good individuals, but we are not working properly as a 5-man unit, I would say. So if we will keep working on that, I think we can have really good chances to winning EU Masters.
Okay, talking about your individuals, no, your partners of G2
Mhm.
Arctic, from the outside, we have seen how the mood of the team has been changing throughout the interviews and the J camps, and I
Mhm.
want you to respond that if you think that the ascendant level of G2 Arctic could came after the good vibes and the good mood you have internally on the team with each others.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, we are the team that is dependent kind of on the mood. We are kind of fixing it, but obviously, it's the consequence of the inconsistency, I would say. Like, if the week or 2 weeks of scrims is going good, then we are all in a good mood. We are all happy. We are motivated. We are doing well in officials and in scrims. But then if we start playing worse in like scrims and officials, then our mood kind of drops, and you can see that on the, as you said, on the cameras or whatever. And we are like doing it kind of forever, I would say. Like 2 weeks we are doing good because of the mood, then we drop it and we do bad for the next 2 weeks. So yeah, I mean we are for sure team dependent on the mood. I can see that. Yeah.
Okay, now I wanna not move on the topic of your team, or later we will talk about the other players of Superliga, and I would like to ask you about Melthet, your head
Mhm.
coach, because everyone that has worked with him has said that he is very good and he is one of the best trainers, at least here in Spain. So I wanna know your opinion of your trainer.
I mean, for sure he's one of the best, if not the best. I mean, for sure he can already coach like one of the best teams in LEC, that's for sure. But I mean, for sure he's one of the best coaches, but it's not really his fault that we are not working well as a team because sometimes we are just too lazy or we are just forgetting about each other and we are like focusing too much on the mood. Like we are not consequent and consistent on what we are doing. So for sure, he's the best coach I've ever had, and for sure, he's one of the best in Europe, I would say.
Okay, that's a huge opinion, and that
Yeah, yeah.
we will see that on the prices at the end of the on the split. Now I'm gonna talk about the other teams and the other players you have to face here at Superliga, and I want to start talking about Random because most of the audience of
Mhm.
Superliga is stating that Random is the best mid laner right now in the competition. I know to know your thoughts about this statement and if you agree or not, or you think you are the best mid laner at Superliga.
I think even though I'm not in the peak right now, I can be still the best. Mid laner is Superliga right now, but I can agree that Random is one of the better ones. I'm not exactly sure like which place he is, but for sure he's one of the better ones. Obviously, it's hard for me to judge because last time we met each other, like I just turbo ran it down. He solo killed me 4 times, so I cannot see. I mean, I cannot say anything other than that. Obviously, he's good. It's not like he played insanely well, but he played well. And obviously, I had a disgusting day. I just turbo ran it down, so it was for sure a bit easier for him. But I can agree that he's one of the better mid laners in Superliga. Yeah, I can agree with that.
And now I want to talk about yourself, your thoughts.
Mhm.
What's the team and the player individually that you think is the most threatening rival on the league, or the people, or the person, or the team that you would like to beat in a hypothetical final, or I don't know, in a match, what's the most threatening one?
I mean, for sure it would be Giants because they are super cocky and they are not good as people say. But obviously, for now, I'm scared that they won't even make playoffs. So it could be hard to face them. But other than that, for sure, it would be nice to match against Betis again because last time they beat us. Obviously, I mean, it would be really nice to get the revenge on them. And also, I think beating UCAM would be really good, even though they are not that strong because of Plasma, obviously, but still they are one of the better teams in the league. So I think playing against those guys would be really nice.
So I want to also continue with this forecast. You to know or said to me what are your thoughts on the 6 teams that will reach playoffs in this Superliga and who will be the winner? I suppose G2 Arctic.
Obviously, I cannot say anything else. It's our goal, so obviously we are aiming for it. So I think the winner will be us. But if I would need to say the other teams, I think it would be Movistar, Mad Lions, probably UCAM still. It's the clearest top 4, I would say. And then I think S2V can make playoffs. And then there is the battle between Betis or Team Queso, I would say. And I think in the end it will be Betis as well. So I think those 6 would make playoffs, yeah.
Okay, so if I'm not wrong, now you are 21 years old.
Yeah.
And you're still young, and you could have a brilliant future on the leg. Do you think you could perform at the European highest competition, the next split, or in the further future?
That's my goal, yeah. I want to get there in the next year, so I'm trying to work as hard as I can to achieve that. I've been scrimming against some LEC mid laners, and we were scrimming against like 2 LEC teams, and I've been doing pretty good, I would say, pretty fine at that moment. So I think it's not impossible or it's super hard. I think I just need to work hard and well, and it's not pretty easy, but it's doable the next year.
Okay, and just to finish this interview, I want to ask you about what would be your dream match in this future European Masters series, and what's the goal of the team in this European Master and the future Iberian Cup.
I mean, for sure, the goal is to win the EU Masters, and if we play the the Iberian Cup as in the same roster, for sure it's the goal to win it as well. But it's a smaller tournament, so it doesn't matter that much to us, at least. The goal is obviously to win Super League and EU Masters. And the team I would like to play against the most in EU Masters, I mean, probably it would be the winners, I would say, because it's the most satisfying. So probably against K-Corp, I think they're insanely strong team. So it would be really nice to play against them and see how it will go. And other than that, I mean, I think it's mostly them. Yeah, I would like to face them.
Okay, well, thank you for the interview. I liked a lot. I hope you were comfortable with this. And for the people watching this, you have the social media of Fresco in the description. And have a nice day.
Thank you and have a nice day as well. Bye bye.